Greetings, and welcome to the end of the world. Something's going on my server. This has happened a couple of times now. Anytime a storm comes along, it's just this one chunk that gets nailed by lightning. I get a few stray bolts every once in a while, and so far it's killed off 6 of my sheep. I hope it doesn't do much more damage, but one of these days I'll figure out why it's doing that. Anyways, back to the show. Okay, so let's get started on this frame quarry. To start off with, I'm going to need a total of 12 frame motors. I'm only going to be making 10 to start with. I don't know why, that's just the way I did it. Anyways, so to build those frame motors, I'm going to need fine copper wire, and while I'm at it, I'm also going to be making fine iron wire. I'll explain that later, but what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a draw plate. A draw plate requires a diamond panel and 4 iron panel strips. Now, fortunately, it's not as costly as you would imagine, you know, because you have to start off with 9 diamonds and cut those down. Fortunately, the panels that you don't use, you can actually recover the leftover diamonds at the end of the process, so it's not as costly as you would imagine. So I'm going to need a total of 40 copper wire. While I'm at it, I'm also going to be making a wool card, and that's what the iron wire is for, because that's going to be needed to deconstruct the wool into string to be used to create the bundled cable. And I'm going to be creating a bunch of bundled cable because I'm actually going to be controlling all of this with a computer. So it's going to be kind of a fun process because I like to do all kinds of wiring. It's one of my hobbies is actually designing circuit boards. So next up is a bunch of iron bars for the copper coils, and I'm going to need 20 of those to start with. And as you can see, I goofed on the amount of copper needed, so I'll be back when that's done. Now the blue electric motors, they need 2 copper coils, 6 iron, and 1 blue alloy ingot. Those in turn are going to be used in the frame motors, which require 5 copper, 2 brass, 1 blue alloy, and a blue electric motor. I'm going to need a bunch of wool for the bundled cable and the colored wire. I'm also going to need a lot of red alloy. There are a couple of recipes for this, so you do have the option of using iron or copper, depending on the state of your resources at the time. In my case, you know, I have a whole bunch of not extra, but a whole bunch more copper than I have of iron, so I'm going to be using that. Now, I'm not going to bother dyeing a lot of this wool yet. I'm going to be making a bunch of white insulated wire for now, because you can use any color wool that you want to make the wire for the bundled cable. Now when it comes time to create the actual individually colored wires, what I'm going to do is I have to lay down a bunch of wool and then paint it and then break it and pick it up again before I can actually make each color. It's a pain in the butt. It'll be a lot easier in newer versions of Minecraft, but for now that's what you have to deal with. And I'm not gonna show that. It's a pretty self-explanatory situation. Oh, and on a side note, remember that mass fabricator? I've been dumping scrap into it for a while, and I'm getting a really nice supply of UU matter. The goal here is I want to collect a bunch of it to make enough iridium to put together a pseudo-quantum armor. But first, I'm probably gonna, if I don't get enough diamonds here pretty soon, I'm gonna be using it to make diamonds, because I want to get this flying ring done. Throughout this whole process, it's been kind of a nightmare building this thing without being able to fly. You know, having to build up support structures all around it, and it's just a mess. Getting back to the main topic here, next I'm going to need a bunch of sticks for the frames themselves. The recipe calls for 8 sticks and 1 brass for each frame, so I need a lot of wood. I'm ultimately going to need several stacks, probably 4, 5, 6 stacks or so. So it's you know, it's going to take a lot of resources on that. Now, ultimately, I ended up trying out a couple designs before I realized that unless I sat down and really planned this out, it was going to be just a huge, inefficient monstrosity. You know, I'm showing you a couple of my efforts right here, and it's just, in the end, I just decided, you know, I'm just going to, I guess not necessarily cheat, but, you know, follow someone else's design. Dug around a bit, and it looks like the most efficient design I was able to find was created by these guys, Team Pants Madness. They have their EG Drive Mark 6. What I took the general concept of that and modified it just a little bit, and I'll be giving you a tour coming up. Now, let me show you what I've been doing here. You'll see I have 2 frame setups that I've got going here. One is the platform itself. The other over there is the actual mining head. Before I get started, though, I'm going to make this. I need a flying ring at this point. It's just getting to be too much of a hassle having to, you know, build all these structures around and having to dig up. So, let's get started on this Swiftwolf's Rending Gale. First off, you're going to see this is going to take a lot of diamonds. I'm going to need 4 blocks, which is yeah, 36 total. So let me see what I have here. I have 27 diamonds. I'm going to need some more. And as you may know, I've been making a lot of UU matter. So let's make some diamonds. There we go. Let's see. I need, what did I say, 36? Okay. I have the diamonds that I need now. I have the bucket of lava that I'm going to need. It looks like I'm going to need a little more iron. Oop, wrong chest. With half a stack. Okay. So now, I also need some Eternalis fuel, which is... oh boy, this is gonna... let's see, I'm gonna need... I believe it's gonna be... yeah, 4 stacks? Per? Let's see. Just gonna grab as much as I can here. I may not have enough coal. Find out. I also need my Philosopher's Stone for this. I might just need... yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I need 4 stacks per... wow. 1 stack per Eternalis fuel, and I'm gonna need a total of... wow. So I need 32 of them. We'll see where this gets me. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, that hurt a lot. Let's see, it's full stack, so it was 32 stacks of coal. Now I'm gonna need a total of 4 of those. Wow. Three and 4. Okay, got my dark matter. I need 4 feathers. Believe I should have those in here. Good. And the iron ring, I should have everything in there. Alright. So, iron band, I should say, sorry. So you just surround that with the lava bucket. I should say surround the lava bucket with that. Boom. Alright. And those. And those. And I have my flying wing. Alright. Ouch. But now, I don't have any fuel. Big deal here is I'm going to need, oh shoot, what do I want to use? Probably glowstone is, or redstone. Let's do redstone. It's a little bit more plentiful right now. There we go. I have my flying ring. Okay. Now, I can go ahead and tear this stuff down. Okay, I'm back. I had a bit of an issue for whatever reason when it was when I was moving it north, which was channel 1. Now it's 101. My client crashed, and it's constantly sending a pulse on channel 1 now, and I can't get that to turn off. Anyways, the way this works is I've got this bank of 8 here. These 2 here handle the north. What happens is when I hold down, when I create a pulse here, it moves that and then moves it back, which then in turn moves the whole thing north. And then if I were to do it for channel 2, which is south. Okay, I think you're beginning to understand what I'm getting at here. So, it's a really nice compact system. I really wish I didn't have to have these frames here, but these solar panels fall off if I don't secure them by having a frame here. Now, what's going to happen here? Like I said, this is all temporary. I'm going to be computerizing this whole thing. So all this cable's going away. These back 3 frames, this back 3 rows are going to be actually going away. So I'm just going to try and make this as compact as possible. Could be a little more compact, probably, but I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, over here, what I've done is I've got a whole bunch of block breakers facing down, and then those are you've got a set of frames running down the middle, because remember, you have to have a frame hooked up to any of these things, otherwise they won't move. And then on the outsides of these frames, these here and on the bottom, those have the covers, cobblestone covers, to prevent things from sticking, for lack of a better word. Then this is all redstone tube. It's a pneumatic tube with redstone on it going to this chest, and this pattern should look familiar to you. That's my sorting system. So the way this works, get some dirt here. Okay, that's on channel 100 for now. Oops, I'll get that changed to a more appropriate setting down the road, but for the time being, I'll do that, and then when it sends a pulse, it breaks everything underneath, pulls it into the chest, which then immediately goes into the sorting system. Now, this vertical here, I did set it back 1 just so I wouldn't have to fuss with putting panels on the front here. This is my next chore. I'm going to be building the y-axis, having this go up and down with a couple of frame motors. I've already got everything built. I'm going to need the battery box to charge the frame motors. I'm going to have a deployer and another block breaker. You'll see the reason for that in a little bit. Got plenty of extra frames because remember this is going to have to go down to bedrock. So, and then the world anchor I'm going to be putting over on the main platform because I don't know where I'm going to end up roaming with this. So I'll get to work on the y-axis motors and come back when I've got everything set up. Okay, I've got this whole thing worked out now. I've got a battery box, which is absolutely necessary for the motors here. I've got one up, one down. I've got a little bumper here to prevent things from going too far and sticking together. Down is channel 10. Up is channel 9. Oh, let's see here. I've also got this here with a cover on the bottom to prevent things from screwing up and going too far and then grabbing this pneumatic tube here and pulling it down. What else here? Okay, so I've got, oops, got a deployer here, loaded up with support frames. Then over on the other side here, I have a block breaker. So what happens is, let's see, for channel 9 I want to go, channel 9 goes up, yes, channel 9 goes up, so let's set this to channel 9. So it breaks the block if one's there, and then brings it up. Okay, see, it won't go any further because I've hit that bumper. Now, bring that to channel 10, it'll deploy a block and drop it down. Okay, and it's a self-cycling, self-repeating thing. So if I were to go back to channel 9, it comes up, and you'll see the block breaker brings it back around, drops it in the deployer, so I never run out of frames. Now, for the fun part. To navigate all this stuff back together, actually I'm going to need to do, well, you'll see what I need to do when the time comes. Let's see, it's bring us back to 10, bring it down a bit. I'll bring it down to about, there's a good safe amount. Now, for the fun. I need to navigate this up into place and to connect to here. And this is going to break something here, so I need to add a couple more frames, which I think I can do. Yep. Yeah, this is getting a little bigger than I was hoping it would be, but it won't break that wiring there. Okay. Now, let's bring this to channel 1. Oh, that's right. Remember, that's that messed up one, so it's 101. I want to bring it up. I believe up is channel 7? No, channel 6. It's either 5 or 6. Let's find out. I had these written down somewhere and I can't find my notes. Good. Okay. So channel 5 is up, 6 is down. Let's see if I can just hold this down, see if I don't... Nope. Getting close. Be one more. Yeah, it looks good. Now I need to go west. So I believe that's 4. Nope. Oh, actually that is west, but I need to go east actually, so that would be 3. Look at that. I love this thing already. Once I get these into position, I'll come back and start planning where I want to start my next quarry. Okay, one last one here. We should be hooked up. Now, I want to make sure that I'm not going to get caught up on anything. It should be fine. The whole thing moves. Alright. Now let's move it back, which would be channel 2. And I had to change the channel again because my client crashed again. Don't know what's going on with that, but let's see. Hopefully it's not a showstopper here. Good. Okay. I'm all set. I can start programming this thing. So okay, now that I've got everything all connected, it appears to be working just fine. My next step is to build a computer and get everything hooked up and start the programming. So I'm going to save that for next episode. I think we're in good shape here. Just going to quick do a fly around here, kind of show you how things look. It's not... I kind of wish things would have been a little bit more compact up here at the head, but you know what? It's not a big deal. Like I said, these last 3 rows are going to go away. So it's going to be fairly vertical. So next episode we'll get the computer going and start doing some actual mining. Till then, take care.